What happens after you guys kind of end your little journey? And do you continue on with the music right away, or is there like a little hiatus of sorts?
Well, I feel like I'm good at storytelling because it goes back to call centers again. Like after I left that job, Logic, I went to another call center called iOS.
Mm.
And again, there's a lot of musicians. And then I met my boy named Diego, which is an artist, profound artist, producer artist. He's my boy. He lives in the same building as me. And basically, profound artist. He also went to my high school, but I never knew him. And he knew one of my close friends from high school, but he was 1 year older than me. So I never knew the older guys. I knew the younger people. But like a small world. He went to my high school, but I only met him once I went to that second job.
Right.
And what happened with Diego, aka Profound Artist, is he started this collective called the Council. So he every rapper that he knew, he brought us together and at his house, his apartment near the college. And then we're just kind of like saying, yo, we could bring our resources together. And Montreal is a small island. We all were from different areas of Montreal. And we're like, yo, we bring our resources together. Maybe we can do something and kind of see what's going on. And basically, yeah, that started a little collective called the Council. And we had a council cipher. We did a video for it. And we were like 7 rappers rapping one after the other. And then we started the,
Hold up. So
like,
you
with the
actually got y'all successfully got a bunch of people in a room to meet regularly.
Yeah, we had council
How
meetings.
did you do that?
Like,
How did y'all get people in the same room at the same time? That is like how? That's what I'm left with
well,
asking.
but at that age, like early 20s, everyone's kind of like hopping onto the shit. Like everyone's free. Like,
Mm.
when you're young that age, you're always going everywhere and like whatever's your interest, you always head towards it. So we're what, 22 maybe, or I don't know, maybe I'm off in my age, but I was around that age and we just kind of decided to meet. Diego was the one that really pulled the strings and kind of got all of us. He's kind of like the RZA of the Wu Tang. He brought us all together. Well, we're not like a group, but we're a collective. So we each had our individual brands, but we shared resources because I lived in Saint Laurent. Diego lived in Saint Laurent too. Guapo, he lived in Uptown, and fucking Nino lived in Montreal Nord, and then Adonai lived in like Saint Michel or something. So we're all from different French and Anglophone neighborhoods. So we had different connections and producers and stuff like that. So we're sharing it, to we had meetings every month, not every 2 months, 3 months, stuff like that.
That's an interesting pace. So y'all basically didn't get too saturated with each other. You would work. What did you guys do at the meetings? Like, what would a council meeting be like?
Well, to be honest, we're kind of like it was kind of we're kind of degenerates in a way. So we're all like smoking. Like every time we meet, we smoke at least like 50 joints minimum for 7 people. Like I mean minimum. So that was the start of it, and then we would just smoke joint after joint, drink beers, drink alcohol, talk shit, and then maybe in the last like 30 minutes, we're like, okay, guys, let's actually talk about real shit. So the last 30 minutes, we try to reel it together. Okay, what do you got going on? Okay, what do you got going on? Okay, show me your video, show me your profile, show me your song. And we're like, okay, yeah, I like that. So we give commentary with like tips to improve. We help like plan our futures. Like, okay, what do you have planned? What mixtape are you dropping in the next year? So we got serious in the last like 30 minutes, and we're like, okay, let's go
You
back
know
to
what
drinking.
though? I'm gonna
You
say
know?
something. It just sounds like every meeting I've ever had, and outside of work, not at work. But if we did them at work, my
Mm-hmm.
job might be a little more chill and probably equally as efficient. Cause yo, I was thinking as you were saying that maybe that's a smart approach. Cause y'all don't hate each other at the end of it.
Yeah.
You imagine walking in, no drinking and smoking, and straight to criticizing each other's shit. Woof.
Mm.
That might have,
You got a point though.
cause yo, like maybe the degeneracy, which honestly feel, cause yo, look, I have a team at work now, like agents that report to me, and they're in Ukraine. So it's like on me to build relationships and shit with them, and like to do that team building side of life and whatnot. And it's all like super important. So it's in a sense like the team building elements before you got to the work elements, because like those things go hand in hand. And I think a lot of times we forget about the fun shit. And it's like if you can't have fun with the people, nobody gonna want to hear what you have to say. That's really a big knowledge
That's
nugget,
true.
even if it's by accident.
But yo, that's good that you say that because they made me think about something else too. Because me and my boy Guapo, we always talk about this. Like we feel like weed in music industry is it's a tool at the same time. Because when you a lot of conversations happen around like a joint, like a weed circle, especially in the music industry. So it's a way to break the ice with like if you're talking to a new producer, a new rapper, like you want to break the ice, you want to come up with a song concept, whatever. You smoke weed, you talk about life, and eventually you'll lead towards what you want to make music about. So we like music, and I mean weed, and sometimes drinking too are all linked together, and also the social aspect of music.
I think so too, on to a degree. I mean, I'm gonna go on a limb here, so everything I say here is just my opinion. But I think there's a lot of people in music that deal with mental illness at a higher capacity, and weed in mental illness people don't slap the way it does with motherfuckers who just get stoned and play video games all day. In my experience, it's motherfuckers who maybe balance out. Like, I mean, I smoke a copious amount of pot, but I don't remember the last time I got high without excessive amounts of edibles or some shit. Like it just doesn't work like that no more. Meanwhile, I listen better. If I try to do this sober, and I know because I have to do it at work, I am way worse at like giving a shit about the nuances of your story. So for me, at least, it makes me more attentive and helps me tap into empathy, which makes me a better artist, I find. But I know for some people it's bad, but I just think the types of people who end up working in music also tend to be workaholics and a bunch of shit where all things considered, weed's one of the healthier de-stressors out there for this lifestyle. Like alcohol kind of
Yeah.
is destructive, other shit kind of hits heavy like that, but I think weed is, I mean, look at all the old weed smoking types that just smoked weed. They all live really old and shit. Just how it be.
Yeah.